on, guys? Today on Petrol Juice, I'm going to show you how to remove any E46 BMW's interior trim in order to either prep it or wrap it, whatever you want to do after you remove it. What you're also going to need for this job is a star screwdriver and any kind of credit card, old card that you could use as a pry tool. And that's the only thing you need to do in order to take out mainly the center trim for the screwdriver and the pry tool for the rest of the trim. Let's get started. So on this side, you're just gonna get right under it. Basically, just use an old credit card you have or anything flat you can pry with, because there's basically just clips under here. They're very hard to get to, but once you do get them out, they come right out. For the rest of the dashboard, you're going to do exactly the same thing. Just slide whatever card you have right under and remove the clips accordingly. Well, the clip broke, but that's okay. Oh yeah, look at that. It's actually stuck in there, so I didn't break it. That is crazy. That was stuck. That's what, 15 years worth of clips. All right, so for this part over here, since we already got the whole dashboard trim, this is just the tiny bit trickier. It's not really a big deal. What you're gonna want to do is you have a manual transmission. This literally comes off. There's a couple clips on the side here. A little hard to struggle out, but they do come out. There we go. See that? And with this shift knob, you don't have to take it off. Just be able to slide it through. Basically, just take them out, and it should be able to be a lot easier to put the trim back in. Doubloons. Don't drop them. See that? Boom, right out. Just turn this, and you're just gonna want to disconnect the modules for the window selectors. And right on this side, they're very tiny, but they come right out. Same thing with the other side. Your trim is out and ready to go. Whew, that is one sexy trim. All right, when you're removing the actual selector switches, there should be a clip on this side. Just pull that back, pull it out, because whenever you wrap, you want to make sure you do everything perfect. Once it's done, it's gonna be a lot harder to make it over. In order to get started with the wrap, make sure you cut out the selected size to your piece that you want to wrap. Then once you're ready, make sure to take out the back piece of your wrap in order for it to stick onto your piece. Also, do not forget, this is a very important part. Make sure to clean the pieces that you want to wrap first. Make sure you have a very nice foundation in order for your vinyl wrap to stick to. Once you've completed the last steps, the last thing to do is to stick the pieces onto your vinyl accordingly, and make sure you try to fit it as best as you can with the shape. Once you have the trim on the vinyl, make sure to use a heat gun or a hair dryer. It just takes a little longer in order to stick the actual vinyl onto the trim. Once that's done, you can stretch the vinyl. Don't be afraid to over the trim as much as you can. And also do not be afraid to cut very close to the trim, just not too close, in order to have a good wrap around the back and cut accordingly. Now the next thing is just a little tricky. This is on the center console for your shift boot. In order to actually wrap around that, you're just going to want to outline the shift boot center in order to give yourself enough space and surface area to wrap the actual trim itself. Just go ahead and draw a little circle around that you want to cut. Get your exacto knife and cut maybe about an inch of play in order for you to wrap around the actual trim. Now once that's done, just take off the back of the vinyl and then apply the trim onto the vinyl, and use your heat gun or hair dryer to stick the vinyl onto your trim piece. And you go ahead and use your squeegee to try to get as many bubbles as you can. Don't be afraid to pull back on the vinyl and reapply in order to get the air bubbles out. Then in order to open up the window selector switches areas, do the same concept you use for the shift boot area. Just cut a line through the middle and cut off the excess, and give yourself enough play in order to wrap around the trim. When you're finished wrapping, just go ahead and put these window selector switches right back on. Looking good.
Wow.
Let's go put them on. Woo! So when you put your trim back in, do not forget to plug your selectors back in.
Wow.
Nice. Nice. Woo! Not the best job, but
It is great.
Hey,
what are you talking
it's
about?
not that bad. All right, let's go put the rest of the trim pieces in. No, not again. There we go. Freaking technology.